Okay, good morning, roller derby fans and spectators alike. We are getting ready to bring to you our game on this Memorial Day weekend. Our home team, the Black Rose Rebellion, taking on our friends from Hagerstown, Maryland. This is the Mars Junior Beasts. This is our one of our last games here of the home season before we move to playoffs in just a few weeks. But before we move on with our game, there is a very special shout out that we would like to make to a couple of our skaters today who are playing. So I would at this time like to bring 3 skaters to the middle of the track from our visiting team, Mars Junior Derby, number 007 Rogue. Please step up to Olive Havoc in the middle. Trinity, step forward. There she is. Now, Trinity's been skating Junior Derby since 2018, started at Mob City, ended her career here at Mars Junior Derby. She is graduating this year, so we are going to give her, even though she is the enemy today, I'm going to just give her a special shout out and say thank you for everything you've done to Derby. Rogue will be moving on to being going into college for nursing here shortly, going to Shepherd University, and staying in Derby, hopefully coaching and skating and refereeing. So we're glad that she could be here with us for her graduation game. She'd like to give a thank you here to all of the coaches and skaters who have guided her through her journey. Second in line here, we're going to go to number 82, Starstruck, one of our level 3 skaters here at Black Rose. Now, we've had Starstruck since 2021, and now his most memorable moment will be getting 3rd place in the playoffs. We will miss him, and he will miss being able to enjoy the game with the people he has grown to love. So he will continue playing Derby to his fullest extent. So we are happy to have you here, skating with one of your last games here as a junior skater. Of course, all 3 people skating today will be at playoffs in Philly in just a few weeks. Let's make this real awkward. Okay, and we also have our number 25, Diablo. Also one of our graduating skaters coming to us in 2018. I'm sorry, my Olive cut off my words here.
Sorry, yeah, 2013 when you started, right? 2018 when you started.
2013 would be a long time ago. I can't do the math, but I don't know if you'd have graduated long before that. Okay, memorable moments. There's not sentences on there, so realizing how far our team has come and how much work we've really put into it, it was amazing to see everybody become confident and watch them do Derby. I'm going to put some words in there that got cut off, so that's hopefully going to summarize everything that we have for Diablo. Diablo, he will miss playing with teammates, even though he'll still be around to help it. It just won't be the same, and we can understand that. We will see Diablo keep skating as much as possible, especially with Black Rose while going to school for Penn State. That's pretty impressive. So these are our 3 graduating seniors this year playing today's game. Like I said, they will be, this is not their last time on skates. We will see them playing at JRDA playoffs here in Philly in about a month from now, and we will certainly see them at our games. So I believe our gear checks are done, so we're going to go ahead and move now into introductions for both of our teams. We will start with our visiting team. Once again, this is Mars Junior Derby from Hagerstown, Maryland, making that hour and some trip up here to play this morning in today's Level 3 sanctioned game. Now they are wearing this morning's Black Junior Beast uniform. Skating for Mars this morning, we have number 007, Rogue. Number 06, Skatenstein. Wearing number 116, Seek and Destroy. Number 17, Ankle Biter. Wearing number 22, Armstrong Jr. We've got number 23, Oddball. Wearing number 24, Hasselhoff. Wearing number 26, Slaya. Making that trip here from Massachusetts to play this morning. Wearing number 333, Larry. Number 555, and your captain, Jawbreaker. Jawbreaker representing Team USA JRDA last season. We're at number 717, Mad Dog. Oh, we've got number 85, Baby Stretch. We're at number 911, Punisher. And number 921, Hell's Bells. Let's join me in giving a warm welcome to our visiting team here to the snack capital of the world, Hanover. This is your Mars Junior Beasts. And they are here, of course, to play our home team. This is the Black Rose Rebellion. Skating this morning for Black Rose, number 08, Death Ray. Wearing number 110, Sunset Scar. Wearing number 12, Booberry. Oh, we've got number 2007, Icebox. Wearing number 2026, it's Twig. Wearing number 21, Bloody Mary. We've got number 238, Swiss Rolls. Wearing number 25, Diablo. Number 32, Beans. We've got number 333, Farrah Fawcett. Wearing number 38, Scar. We're at number 253, Anchovy. Number 57, Flying Fish. Wearing number 64, Jack Skatington. Listen to that cheering here for Jack Skatington. Wearing number 66, Crow. And your captain this morning of the Black Rose Rebellion, number 82, Starstruck. Give some love to our home and our visiting skaters. This is going to be a very intense game as we wind down the JRDA season and get ready to play in playoffs just a few weeks in Philly. Now, there is a raffle basket. It was hard to describe this basket, but there are quite a huge number of goodies in there. Those raffle tickets are $1 each. I believe we're going to pull those winning tickets here toward the end of our halftime of today's game. We are also doing dollar shout-outs at the merchandise table. So pay a visit to our merch table, get those shout-outs in. They will bring them up to the official announcers table and get your shout-outs taken care of. For example, our first shout-out of the game, this one goes to Mars Junior Beast for Play Hard or Walk Home. Just kidding. Well, not really. We love you, love your parents, so there is an open threat that if they don't play hard, they will be walking back to Hagerstown, Maryland today, so certainly want to make sure that there is some hard playing going on. Black Rose taking their one more chance here as we get ready to move into our first jam of the game. Now, this is a level 3 JRDA sanctioned game, so as such, the JRDA code of conduct is in effect and will be enforced, so please make sure that all communication amongst anybody, both in here and in the chat, is in a kind and courteous manner. Coming out to jam for our first time of the game, number 06, Skating Sign, taking on our very young number 2026, Twig. If this is your first time seeing Derby, those jammers have a star on their helmet. They have to make their way through the pack. The first jammer to get out of the pack on that whistle hears 2 whistles. That means they are the lead jammer. And right off the bat, Mars picking up lead now. Skating Sign is in control. While Twig is on her way to the penalty box, this is going to give a power jam in the hands of Mars. Black Rose currently unable to score with their jammer in the box. Starstruck taking Skatenstein out of bounds at the top of the pack. Rejoins the action. Looks like Jawbreaker coming in there trying to clear out a hole for Skatenstein. And Skatenstein's out with the first 4 points of the jam. All right, that's going to be a 4-0 jam here, and that's going to freeze our jammer Twig for Black Rose in the penalty box, and by a power start here for Mars. Scoreless jam for Black Rose. Mars putting 4 points on the board. Coming out to jam now for our second jam on the game, jamming solo. This number 22, Junior. Now we normally see Twig as one of our higher scoring jammers for Black Rose. So having her in the box is a serious impairment. This is 2 leads in a row now for Mars. Junior is in control. We're back to some 5-on-5 derby. Junior coming in on his first scoring trip through the pack. Junior is out. And our jammer referee, I believe that is, that may be Gritton Barrett, putting 4 points on the board for Mars. So Mars now up 4 points. Junior coming in, trying to take an apex jump, but is taken out of bounds and is forced to restart this pass. Twig coming back in, trying to recover some of these lost points for Black Rose. Now looking at a 4-point jam so far for the Junior Beasts. Black Rose putting up a fight. Crow at the top of the pack along with Bloody Mary, but Junior's out with another 4 points. Mars losing Jawbreaker to a penalty. Here comes Junior on another 3rd round of points. Scar holding up the catch there of a tripod. Junior is out. So Junior on a 12-point jam. Twig putting the first 4 points of the game on the board for Black Rose. Junior comes in, calls off that jam mid-scoring pass, but still has 3 points. So a 15-point jam from Mars is going to bring up 19 points over Black Rose's 4. We're going to have number 110, Sunset Scar, jamming next for Black Rose, taken on from Mars. This is number 26, Leia. Leia also coming to us from Northeast Uprising, a newer junior league up in the New England area. Sunny making her way to the top of the pack. Sunny fights through, and she's out. This is a lead for Black Rose. Sunset Scar is in control. First lead in the rows for Black Rose as Mars loses Baby Stretch to the penalty box. Sunset Scar taken out and drawn back by Ankle Biter. She's going to restart this pass now. Sunny still on her first scoring trip through. Ankle Biter proving to be a nemesis of Sunny as Ankle Biter brings her back all the way. One more time. Sunset Scar now coming up the pack. She's making her way up front. Mars throwing a 2-wall. Jawbreaker puts Sunset Scar out of bounds and forces her back. So Sunny is still scoring points even though her referees do not throw them up yet. She will not actually indicate those points until her scoring pass is complete. And there it is. Now Mars down 2 blockers. Sunset Scar coming in with this little bit of an advantage. She's coming in full speed ahead. Mars throwing a 2-wall up front. Ankle Biter taking Sunny out of bounds, but Sunny taken out by Baby Stretch. Black Rose losing Blueberry to a penalty. Now Black Rose is down 3 blockers. Pretty good chance here for Mars to get some points. Slay with an apex jump. She lands in bounds, and she's got 4 points. So Mars looking at 8-point jam so far. Sunset Star still fighting with Mars's defense. Baby Stretch taking Sunny out of bounds on the outside. And Sunset Scar off on the penalty too. So she's losing her ability to call off this jam. So it's Leia now in full control for the remainder of this jam. It's just a couple seconds to go. It's Leia colliding with a blocker. So it's going to be a 7-point jam for Sunset Scar. And an 18-point jam for Slaya altogether, bringing Mars up to 37, Black Rose 11. So this is a power start now in the hands of Skatenstein once again. Black Rose shifting the full defense with what few blockers they have on the track right now. Starstruck working solo at the front of the pack, but Skatenstein is out. And our penalty box vacates. So we're back to some 5-on-5 derby. This is a scoring pass now in the hands of Skatenstein. Crow and Starstruck walling up at the top of the pack against Skatenstein, trying to keep him at bay from scoring points, while Sunset Scar comes out of the penalty box trying to complete her initial pass. Diablo going in there for some defense, joining Crow and Starstruck, but they have to let Skatenstein go. So Mars now looking at 4 points. It's going to be a 7-0 jam in favor of Mars. Sunset Scar unable to get out of the pack and complete her initial pass. So it's a 4-3 pack here now in favor of Mars. We're going to have Junior out there taking on number 253 and Jovi. Junior taken out of bounds. Jovi taken out on the outside by Hasselhoff. Now Hasselhoff bringing Jovi all the way to the back. Hasselhoff walling up with baby stretch, taking Jovi out of bounds on the outside. It's another lead here for Mars. Armstrong Jr. in control. Mars blockers ganging up on that outside line, keeping Jovi at the back of the pack. Now Punisher bringing Jovi all the way back. Blueberry in, tries to clear out a hole for Jovi. Mars losing their jammer to a penalty, so this is going to be the chance of a power jam in the hands of our very own Ange Jovi, who is still stuck in her initial pass. Baby stretch waterfalling to the back of the pack, now being joined by a tripod of Mars blockers held up by Hasselhoff. They are shutting down every attempt Jovi can make to come out and complete this initial pass. Swiss Rolls is trying to break up that wall for Jovi. Skatenstein pushing his way past Swiss Rolls now, taking on Blueberry and Death Ray. Initial pass complete. No longer eligible for lead jammer due to that penalty. Junior is in, collides with Beans. Back-to-back penalties for Junior. Junior is going to sit for a forearm penalty. And Jovi getting some blocking by Punisher, but Punisher is off on a clockwise blocking penalty. Jovi getting those two whistles just as the jam clock expires. So all said and done in that jam, 4-0 in favor of Mars. They're at 48, Black Rose 11. Now Black Rose starting this jam with the pack advantage. Mars is down a blocker and a jammer. So coming out to jam solo on this power start, number 82, Starstruck. Starstruck out there, and he is lead jammer. Black Rose now has a bit of advantage as they're able to try to score some lost points here earlier on in the game. Starstruck coming out around the apex, but is taken out. Seeing a lot of blocking by Baby Stretch and Jawbreaker. Junior comes back in from that earlier forearm in the last jam, so we are back to having both jammers on the track. Starstruck goes for a 4-point pass and calls off the action. We're going to have this same matchup here. This is number 110, Sunset Scar taking on number 26, Slaya. And it's a 5-on-5 pack, so both teams are at full strength. Right off the whistle, Jawbreaker bringing Sunset Scar to the outside line. Sunny taken out of bounds and brought back by Ankle Biter. Black Rose walling up against Slaya at the front of the pack, but Slaya just about gets through. Okay, Slaya is out now with another Junior Beast lead. Blueberry working some defense at the bottom of the pack against Slaya. Slaya down. She recovers. She's back in. Trips up against Blueberry. And Slaya out with 4 points on the board. Now Slaya in for her second scoring trip through. Sunset Scar is out. Blueberry bracing a tripod. But Slaya finds a hole on the outside. She's got another 4 points just as Black Rose loses. Swiss rolls to a penalty. Slaya just gliding her way on the inside there. Completes a third scoring trip. Calls off the jam. So this is 12-2. For the 3-pack here in favor of Mars, we're going to have Skatenstein out there taking on Inch. Jovi right off the bat, running into a very solid pack. Jovi being stuck at the back. Starstruck bracing a tripod against Skatenstein. Skatenstein is out, and as our lead jammer, Baby Stretch, taking Jovi out of bounds on the outside. Skatenstein is out with 4 more points for Mars. Star pass over to Starstruck, but that jam called off before Starstruck can score any points, so that is going to be 4-0 in favor of Mars. We have a shout out here for Punisher. Good luck, love you, and that is from Lexi. Twig back out to jam against Armstrong Jr. Death Ray and Starstruck holding back Junior. Junior gets out, gains some speed through the track there, and he is our lead jammer. So we got looking at 3 leads in a row for the Mars Junior Beasts. Junior in now on his first scoring trip through, but looks like Starstruck taking Junior out of bounds, forcing him to restart this pass. Up at the front of the pack, those Mars blockers are out of play. They have to let Twig go, so Twig is out. Junior picking up 4 points, calls off the jam before Twig can score anything, so 4-0 once again in favor of Mars. Black Rose scoreless in that jam, so 17-68, Mars with the lead. About 15 minutes left to our first half of the game. Sunset Scar out there taking on Slaya. This is the 3rd time these two jammers have taken the jammer line against each other. And Slaya, once again, our lead jammer. Scar with a hip check, sending Slaya out of bounds on the outside. Sunset Scar still on her initial. She is up front working against a Mars tripod just as Rogue is going to the penalty box. Sonny brought out of bounds and brought to the back of the pack. Now Mars recycles her defense at the back. It's 3-on-1 there with Sunset Scar trying to get through. Bloody Mary trying to break up that tripod for Sonny, but Sonny is just being held stagnant. Diablo, I'm sorry, no, that's Scar doing some defense against Leia, who's currently on her scoring pass. And Sunset Scar gains some traction, and she is out. Now Leia tries to get through on the inside, but is shut down by Black Rose's defense. Sunset Scar catches up, forcing that gem to be called off. All said and done, that's going to be +4 more for Mars, making them at 72. Black Rose 17. We are going to have Skatenstein out there taking on, I believe this is Anchovy. And Anchovy making her way to the top of the pack, but just before she gets out, she is taken down. It's an incomplete scoring pass, so she is out, but she is not able to score points now. She's relying on her team to work some solid defense against Skatenstein, since Skatenstein is still eligible for a lead. Now Swiss Rolls brings Skatenstein out of bounds with the help of Booberry. Booberry coming in, taking a tumble. And Skatenstein being called off on a back block due to that collision with Booberry. So a power jam now in the hands of Anchovy, but she is not our lead jammer, so she has no privilege of calling off the jam with that earlier incomplete initial pass. Now Jovi is called off. So Anchovy is called off on a penalty. That's going to release Skatenstein. Minute left to our jam. No chance for a call off, and no points have been scored. Beans taking part in a 3-wall. Now Booberry with one last hit on Skatenstein, but Skatenstein stays in bounds. Initial pass now completed by Skatenstein. He is ready to score some points, while Anchovy is still seated for that penalty. Starstruck and Booberry taking Skatenstein out of bounds. It looks like Skatenstein is going to be called off on a track cut. So back-to-back penalties. That's going to put Anchovy back there, jamming solo. Now Joey's at the top of the pack. She gets through. Toe stop on the line is inbounds, and she scores the first 4 points for Black Rose here in a couple jams. So 6 seconds up to our jam. Anchovy coming in, trying to bust out another round of 4 points. And we time out at 2 minutes. So we're going to see, let's see what our demo representative looks like 1 more point here rolling in for Anchovy. And 3 points rolling in for Skatenstein. So Skatenstein brings them up to 75. And it's going to be +5 points thanks to Anchovy. Timeout called by our officials. We are still doing those dollar shout-outs at the merchandise table. We have a bunch to go through here, but bring us more. We need to have those shout-outs taken care of. We are also doing that raffle basket up there at the merch table, so pick up those tickets. They are $1 each. We will call the winning ticket number here toward the end of halftime, just a few moments. We would, of course, love to give the biggest thank you ever to to all of our officials, I should say, who make this game possible on this Memorial Day weekend. Our NSOs, it always takes more NSOs for a game to happen than it does referees. This morning we have our head NSO, Mattio. We have Bionic, D-Rex, Killy Nelson, Ram, Vex, Thunder Crusher, Windy, Bacon, Stretch, Wreck. Our officials this morning with the stripes and the skates, those are our referees. Head referee, Roman Justice. We have Dash, Grit, Peroxide, Phoenix, Tiger, and Caustic Daydream. Now join us here in just about a month at the Northeast Racket Club in Philadelphia for the 2024 Northeast Regional JRDA playoffs, where both these teams will be competing once again. That is at the Northeast Racket and Fitness Club in Philadelphia. Weekend of June 22nd and 23rd. That is the JRDA Northeastern Regional Playoffs. We will have these two teams here competing along with our friends from Crooked River. And I believe we're also going to see New England Junior Derby there as well. And of course, the hosts, Philly, will be competing in playoffs. These teams matched up at that time last year as well. The winner of the playoffs will be moving on to JRDA Championships in July. That will be held in Chicago. Skatenstein frozen in the box from that track cut late in the last jam. That's going to give a power start now over to Black Rose. They're putting up number 82, Starstruck. Starstruck jamming solo, and he's our lead jammer. Skatenstein finishes his time on the box, does some jammer-on-jammer blocking. Starstruck is out with the first 4 points of the jam. Trying to close in this 50-some point score gap. Starstruck still our lead jammer. Starstruck is in, comes in that full speed ahead now. Jawbreaker working with Starstruck. As Starstruck dances on those toe stops. 4 more points, and I believe that is the highest scoring jam of the game for Black Rose so far. That's going to be a +8 for Black Rose, bring them at 30. And 3 more on the board here for Mars. They're at 78. Twig back out there now, taking on number 22, Armstrong Jr. Twig just about finds herself a hole, but she is baited and shut down. Junior's our lead jammer. And Junior coming through on the inside, scores those 4 points and calls off the jam. Black Rose scoreless in that jam. They're going to have Starstruck back out there now, taking on number 26, Slaya. And Slaya is out. I believe she's looking at a streak of 100% leads each time she is out. So Slaya now in control. Starstruck out. Slaya coming in for her first round of points, so she takes a spill coming around the turn. Slaya calling off that jam mid-scoring pass, keeping that a simple 2-0. We have a 5-on-5 jam now. Skatenstein taking on Ange Jovi. No lead jammer as of yet, but Skatenstein does find some ground, and he is out. Mars walling up against Ange Jovi. Jawbreaker bracing that tripod. Seek and Destroy working side by side with Jawbreaker, but Jovi called off on a track cut. So Skatenstein now on a power jam for Mars. And that jam is over. That's going to freeze Anchovy in the box for the next jam. We're going to start our next jam with a shout out for Punisher. Once again, play hard, kid. We're so proud of you. Love, Mom and Dad. Black Rose now calling for a team timeout. 6.5 minutes left to our first half of the game. Punisher certainly getting a lot of love here with our dollar shout out. This next one goes to Punisher. Good luck, Punisher. Love, Nanny. And one more for Punisher. Good luck, I love you. That is from Riley. That 60 seconds has elapsed. We are coming out of this team timeout called by Black Rose. Anchovy stuck in the box from that earlier penalty. That track cut, she was assessed, and they have a power start now in the hands of Mars. Okay, Junior out there to jam solo. Scar with some nice defense takes Junior out of bounds with a hip check. Anchovy is released from the box. Looks like Anchovy on her way for another penalty. No, Jovi's going to be returned to the track. We have a lead now in the hands of Junior. Junior with the first 4 points on the board. They are now at the 100-point mark, and that jam is called off. Billy Graham believed that Sunset Scar and Slaya may be friends in real life because they are on the jammer line together once again. Farrah Fawcett working some defense there along with Bean, trying to keep Slaya in this pass. Meanwhile, Sunset Scar has to deal with this tripod of Mars blockers. Punisher working the back of that tripod. Slaya is out, and she's our lead jammer. Black Rose stretching their defense out across the track, taking down Slaya. Slaya just trying to spear her way through that three while Black Rose losing. I believe they're losing Beans. That's going to put them down one blocker. Slaya still on this jam. Still our lead jammer, I should say. Now Booberry working some solo blocking against Slaya. Slaya taken out by Booberry. Booberry bringing Slaya all the way to the back. Meanwhile, Sunset Scar trying to get past Mad Dog, number 717, who's bracing that tripod. And it looks like we're going to see Booberry serve some time in the penalty box. Beans coming in the pack just as Black Rose loses Farrah Fawcett. Slaya goes with 4 more points, and she calls off the jam.
You're in queue. Go on track, you'll be in queue.
Mars with a pack advantage. Black Rose has a few blockers in the box. Gatenstein out there to take on Twig. Six leads in a row now for Mars. Gatenstein is in control. Twig taken down by Jawbreaker, coming around the turn. Gatenstein with a hop, a skip, and a jump is in on a scoring pass, but goes out of bounds. Diablo bringing Gatenstein all the way to the back. Gatenstein, seeing the threat of having Twig come up, calls off the jam, 2-0. Very brief timeout called by our officials. We were back to our game. 2.5 minutes left to halftime. Starstruck out there taking on Armstrong Jr. And Junior is out. And is our lead jammer coming through on the inside, making quick work of that 4-point pass. Now Junior winding up for his second scoring trip through the pack, and he's in and he's out. So Mars now looking at an 8-point jam. Our penalty box vacates, so Icebox able to rejoin some of the derby action. Starstruck with 4 points coming out now, and Junior with another 4 points. Junior now looking at a 16-point jam, going in for a few more beans, taking Junior out of bounds and forcing him to restart this pass. Now Icebox working some defense along with a Bloody Mary. And Junior is out, making this a 20-point jam for the Mars Junior Beasts. Starstruck is up front. Ice looks like, that's Jawbreaker goes out of bounds. Out of play, so she has to let Starstruck go. Starstruck does have 4 points, making this an 8-point jam for Black Rose and 24 for Mars. We're going to have Slay at number 26 out there once again. And our very young number 2026, Twig, jamming for Black Rose. Twig is making her way to the front of the pack, but Hasselhoff working some defense. Diablo taking Slaya down. And Twig is out with a Black Rose lead. Our period clock is out of time, so this is the last jam of the first half of the game. Slaya passing her star over to Baby Stretch. Baby Stretch coming out with 4 points. Twig also coming out for 4 points, so our jammers evened up on these scoring passes. Punisher taking Twig down, coming around the turn as she tries to sneak through. Baby Stretch also taken out, so both jammers have to restart this pass. Girl rejoins at 3, while Baby Stretch, though, is out with another 4. Hasselhoff now taking down Twig. Baby Stretch looking at being one scoring pass ahead of Twig right now. Twig stuck behind this tripod of Mars blockers. Baby Stretch looking at having a 12-point jam. And that 4 whistles brings us into halftime. Twig with 8 points in that jam brings Black Rose up to 48. Mars with 16. They're at 151. So still time to get those raffle tickets there. I believe we're going to be pulling the winners either at the end of the halftime or right after the game before MVPs. We are still doing these dollar shout-outs. I still have a few more to go through here in the second half of the game. We're going to take a brief break and come back to you with more Derby in about 15 minutes. Okay, moving into our second half, I'm being told that we are just now taking care of a scoreboard issue. We want to make sure that that's working before we go ahead and start our first jam. Well, once again, it's going to be Twig taking on Skatenstein. Now, these two jammers opened up the game in the first half with a 4-0 jam in favor of Mars. So we'll see what we have to bring to you here. Again, it's going to be a package advantage in the hands of Black Rose. And that whistle starts the second half. Beans and Starstruck working the back of that tripod held up by Booberry against Gatenstein. Twigs creeping up to the front of the back. Mars recycles two of their blockers, but they go out of play. They have to let Twig go. And it's a Black Rose lead now with Twig in control. Now Twig coming up on her first scoring pass of the jam. Gatenstein is out. Looks like Twig is through the back, and she signals the call off. Let's see. Okay, looks like there's going to be 3 points going up for Twig. And it's going to be a scoreless jam for Mars. The first scoreless jam for Mars. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The second scoreless jam for Mars of the game.
Was it working? I don't know. I thought it was.
Now just down to a 100-point difference, 51-151. We have a shout out here. This is going to our very own Jawbreaker, number 555 from the Junior Beasts. Slay Girl, stay weird, love you. And that is from Mom, who has invaded the announcer's table.
So it's not showing the time.
Okay.
Like,
The time should be 29:20.
I don't think she was paying attention.
It's off by 2.
Jawbreaker was not paying attention to that shout out. I think she owes you your $1 back.
Try one more time to see if that.
Yeah, because what happened was
Jawbreaker is completely unaware that we're talking about her right now. Like she is just clueless that.
all of a sudden.
Whatever
Yeah,
might be
no.
happening in the
Here we go.
background
We got
might
it.
be filtering out the junk in the background process. You want to try one more?
Try it again.
That's another $1. That's going to take it out of her allowance. That's going to cost her another $1 for this shout out. Well, now that Jawbreaker is paying attention, we have a special shout out for Jawbreaker. This is from Mom, and it goes, Slay Girl, and there's 9 A's in there. Okay, there's not enough time to say that, Slay. Stay weird, and that is Love You, Mom. Armstrong Jr. now taking on number 82, Starstruck. 5-on-5 derby action. Our penalty box is clear. Mars pushing Starstruck out of bounds, forcing him to the back. There's Jawbreaker working some defense against Starstruck, but Starstruck is out. This is 2 leads in a row for Black Rose. Starstruck thirsty for some points, coming in on his first scoring trip through. Looks like Baby Stretch takes Starstruck out. Starstruck called off on a track cut. So it's a power jam now in the hands of Junior. Junior is out with 4 points for Mars. Plus 4 more for Junior now coming in on his third round of points. He's in, finds a hole on the inside, making this a 12-point jam. Still on a power jam, but unable to call off the action. Now coming through on a 4th trip through, making this a 16-point jam so far. Now, just prior to the end of the first half, in the second to last jam, we saw Armstrong Jr. with a 24-point jam. So he's looking at 16 so far. Now make that 20 points. Let's see if Junior can meet or exceed that. Starstruck comes out with 4 points, but losing his lead privileges due to that track cut. Both of our jammers, oh no, Starstruck is still in there, but Junior is out with 4 more. So now Junior is looking at 24 points. Plus 4 there for Starstruck for Black Rose. Okay, all said done. We're going to have a 32-point jam in the hands of Junior. And a plus 12 for Starstruck. All right, going into a quick timeout here by our officials just to make sure the scoreboard is going to be working to complete the game here. Black Rose looking at 63, Mars 183. Thanks to that 32-point jam just a moment ago by Junior. Still time to visit our merchandise tables for Black Rose Juniors. I'm being told that there is some new merch up there, including some crop tops. There's some pins, and I think there's some hats up there. We are still doing the dollar shout-outs, and we are actually going to delay the raffle tickets here until right after the fourth whistle. So we will do the raffle tickets, I think, before we move into our MVPs.
We're gonna have to default or deviate back to a manual track.
They're being told here by our head referee, Roman Justice, that we are having some technical difficulties with our scoreboard. So the scoreboard that we see may not reflect the actual points that have been scored. So that's really mostly for our people here in the chat. If it's not updated right away, that is why. But we will try to keep you updated, up to speed as to everything that's going on. Some All right, so I think we're taking going back to our game here after that rolling whistle. We're going to have number 110 Sunset Scar jamming on the for Black Rose. Sunny giving us that warm wave that she does, taking on number 23. This is Oddball from Mars. And that whistle brings us to our next jam. Oddball versus Sunset Scar. Baby Stretch laying some defense into Sunset Scar. Oddball is up on skates. It's a foot race for our jammers, but Sunny called off on a track cut. So as close as those jammers are, that does not help Black Rose to have their jammer in the box right now. So Oddball out with the first 4 points of the jam. Black Rose walling up, trying to slow down Oddball. Well, Sunset Scar finished her time for that earlier track cut. Now Oddball looking at an 8-point jam. Sunset Scar comes back in, but is called off on another track cut. So back-to-back track cuts. This is still now a second power jam, or a second power jam in the hands of Oddball. Oddball calls off the jam. This is 12-0. Sunset Scar frozen in the box from that second track cut. In that last jam, she's taking a seat there with her friend and teammate number 12, Booberry.
Too late.
I can't be called out by our favorite, I think it was our favorite cello player. That's 30 more seconds for pointing to the announcer. You just bought yourself silence for the rest of the game. Okay, number 6, Gatenstein has that star for Mars. Gatenstein is up, and it's a Mars lead. And our box empties out, so back to some 5-on-5. Sunset Scar powers her way through on that pass. Now Mars just 1 point shy of that 200-point mark. Gatenstein still in full control. Now, just as a reminder, the clock and the points on the scoreboard are not going to be accurately reflected due to some difficulty, so the time that we see is not the actual jam time. That is going to be a +8 there for Mars, 0-2-0-3. Sunset Scar does have a +4 for Black Rose.
3 or 4? 3.
3.
We've got Anchovy out there taking number 22, Armstrong Jr. And Junior picking up lead now for the Mars Junior Beasts. Junior called off on a penalty. No. Junior is just taken out of bounds. Jovi working her way to the front, but Baby Stretch and Punisher walling up side by side, keeping Jovi stuck in the pack. Junior is out with 4. This second scoring trip making this, first scoring trip making this a 4-point jam so far. Jovi still stuck on this pass. Swish, rolls, and Bloody Mary trying to break out a hole for Jovi, and it's effective. Jovi is out. So 3 scoring passes complete by Armstrong Jr., making this 12 points for Mars. Scoreless jam for Black Rose. So with 19 minutes left to our game, Mars at 214, Black Rose Rebellion 67. Coming out the jam next for Mars, it's number 333, Larry, taking on Starstruck. Jawbreaker closing in, defending that outside line, but Starstruck is out. It's a Black Rose lead. Larry stuck on this initial pass. Here comes Starstruck on his first round of points. Starstruck is powering his way through, avoids that hit by Jawbreaker, and he's got the first 4 points of the jam. Starstruck now working on his second scoring trip through. Black Rose walling up, keeping Larry stuck at the bottom of the pack. Now Larry taken out by Booberry. Oh wait, I promised her there would be no more call-outs. Larry recycled once again. Meanwhile, at the top of the pack, Baby Stretch bracing that tripod, keeping Starstruck in there, but they go out of play. They have to let Starstruck go. So Starstruck now looking at an 8-point jam for Black Rose. Larry stuck on this scoring pass. I'm sorry, this initial pass. Here comes Starstruck on his third trip through. Beautiful toe stop work by Starstruck. Just rolling with those hits. Stays in bounds, completes a 4-point pass, and calls off the jam. So it's a 12-point jam for Black Rose. And I believe that is the highest scoring jam for Black Rose of the game. That is going to be scoreless for Mars. 12-0 in favor of Black Rose. Skatenstein back out there, taking on our very own number 110, Sunset Scar. And Sunny is out, her first lead of the game. Now Sunny coming in for her scoring trip. We usually see Sunny as being one of our first or second highest scoring jammers of the game. Skatenstein is out. Sunset Scar fighting it through on this scoring pass. Ankle biter walls up along with Slaya. Now Rogue joining in that tripod, taking Sunset Scar down to the inside. Slaya rolling Scar on Sunny all the way to the back. Skatenstein does have a couple points. That jam is called off. So let's see, we got 4-4, says our jam refs. So 4 points going up on both sides. So Black Rose 83, Mars 218. $16 minutes to go. We're going to have Armstrong Jr. taking on Inch Jovi in this next jam. Jovi taking off right off the whistle. Goes out of bounds. Now fighting with Mars' defense. They throw an entire four wall at Jovi while Jr. gets out with a Mars lead. Starstruck with a hip check takes Jr. out of bounds and forces him to restart that pass. Jovi is out, completes her initial. Now Beans rejoins the game, giving Black Rose their full defensive edge. Junior with a +4. As Black Rose loses 2 blockers to the penalty box, this will thin things out quite a bit for Junior now. He's still on this jam. He's still in control. Now only having 2 Black Rose blockers to contend with. That's Starstruck and Beans. Now they take, looks like they take Junior out of bounds. No, Junior is in, and he completes his 3rd scoring trip, making this a 12-point jam. Jovi finally finds her way through. Not lead, but she's got 4 points. Junior finishes his 4th scoring pass of the jam, making this a 16-point jam. Beans and Crow working some defense against Junior, but Junior stays in bounds. Busts out another 4-point pass. Looks like we're looking at 20 points. for Junior in that jam and 6 points for Ange Jovi. Mars with number 23 oddball. And Black Rose with 2026 Twig. Blueberry with some nice blocking there against Oddball, but Oddball gets an assist around Mad Dog. Lead is open. Twig is our lead jammer for Black Rose. Twig now coming in on her first scoring trip through just as there is a star pass complete over to Anklebiter. Anklebiter taken out and forced to restart this pass. Now Jack Skatington working that defense along with Bloody Mary up at the back of the pack. Anklebiter with a +4 for Mars. And Jovi taken out and forced back by Jawbreaker. I'm sorry, that's Twig going for that call. Twig calls off the jam. And it's a 7-2 jam. Black Rose 91, Mars 245. Junior Beast with the back advantage. Sunset Scar out there taking on Skatenstein. Sunset Scar forced out of bounds to the inside. Slayer working that defense along with Rogue. Sunset Scar gets back in bounds. No lead jammer as of yet. Skatenstein slingshots, picks up some speed. Looks like Crow sending Skatenstein out of bounds. And incomplete scoring pass. Skatenstein is out, but does not have lead jammer privileges. So, Sunny with the chance for lead, provided that she can get out. Now, Rogue and Slaya working in a 2-wall, now joined by Anklebiter, making this a 3-wall, turning into a tripod. Skatenstein with the first 4 points of the jam on the board. And after a hard-fought initial pass, Sunset Scar's our lead jammer, and she signals the call off right off that. So that's going to be another +2. So 6-0 in favor of Mars. So 5-on-5 action here. Our penalty box is empty. Ange Jovi is out the jam. Junior doing the old jammer drawback trick, bringing both jammers all the way to the back. Bit of a trip there coming around the 8-backs. Junior versus Jovi once again. Neither jammer has broken out yet, so either one capable of getting lead. Hasselhoff taking Ange Jovi out of bounds at the back of the pack. There's some penalties being issued there. Punisher off on a box trip. Junior's our lead jammer. Black Rose losing Swiss rolls to the penalty box. Blueberry tries to do some last block there against Junior, but Junior is out with 4 points. Star pass over to Starstruck. Jovi now trying the block. Junior gets that hip check, but stays in bounds. He's got 4 more points. Starstruck matching those 4 points now. And before Starstruck can break that 100-point mark. Junior scores another 4 points, making this 12 points, and calls off the jam. Some back-to-back jamming here by Starstruck against number 333, Larry. Black Rose throwing their entire defense at Larry, but Larry's out with a Mars lead. Jawbreaker keeping Starstruck stuck at the back of the pack now. Nice defense by Death Ray, taking Larry out of bounds and forcing Larry all the way to the back. Now at the front of the pack, there is looks like that's just a 3-wall of Mars blockers, sending Starstruck out to the inside. Now Larry taken down and brought to the back once again by Death Ray. Starstruck is out. So Starstruck with the first 4 points of the jam. Okay, going into a timeout call by our officials. We're looking to see if there were some points scored there. Looks like it was going to be a +3 for Mars. They're at 266. Coming off this timeout by our officials. Looks like there will be a penalty assessed to Larry. I believe that may have been an illegal call-off. That's going to buy a power start here for Black Rose. They're putting out Twig with the Jammer Star. Like after our officials collaborated, there will be 1 point that went up on the board, bringing Black Rose to a nice round 100 points. That rolling whistle brings us to the end of that timeout. It is a power start in the hands of Black Rose. Twig with the Jammer Star. And that whistle starts the jam. Power start in the hands of Black Rose now. Twig meeting the full brunt of Mars's defense. As she gets to the front of the back, she's past Jawbreaker. And Twig on this power jam is our lead jammer. Now Twig on her first scoring pass with the jam. Junior working some defense against Twig. Looks like baby stretch brings Twig all the way to the back. Larry finishes his time in the box from that earlier penalty, so both jammers now back in action. Mars losing Jawbreaker on a multiplayer blocking penalty. Beans now doing some defense against Larry. Twig sent out of bounds. She makes the decision to call off the jam, but Twig does have 4 points. So 4 and 4 for each of our jammers. It's an even jam. Black Rose 104, Mars 270. Black Rose beginning this jam on with a pack advantage. They have Starstruck out the jam. Starstruck is our lead jammer. Number 06, Gatenstein, has the star for the Junior Beasts. Now, even though Mars is short one blocker, they are still slowing down Starstruck. Starstruck is out with 4 points. Black Rose calling for a team timeout. 8 minutes left to our game. Black Rose 108, Mars 274. Once again, both teams will be competing at the Northeast Racket Club in Philadelphia the weekend of June 22nd, 23rd. That is the JRDA Regional Playoffs. They will be there playing with their teams, with their friends from Crooked River, Philly, and New England Junior Roller Derby. We'll be competing this season in the Open Division Playoffs in Philadelphia. Then after that, we have the JRDA Championships in Chicago, Illinois. The winner of playoffs will be moving on to play in the championships. That rolling whistle brings us to the end of that team timeout called by Black Rose with 8 minutes to go. Black Rose putting Ann Stovey out. Mars putting out number 22, Junior. Jawbreaker bringing Stovey out of bounds to the outside. Junior sneaks through, and he's our lead jammer. Junior with the first 4 points of the jam now, coming in on his second trip through. Baby Stretch working some defense against Jovi, keeping Jovi stuck in the pack. Junior's out with another 4, making this an 8-point jam, and Ann Stovey is called off on a track cut. So this is a power jam now in the hands of Mars. Junior in full control. Black Rose rolling up with their 4-wall defense. Junior gets past Jack Skatington. He's got another 4 points on the board. Black Rose still has the entire defensive strength. They've got a 4-wall stretch across the front of the track. Jack Skatington trying to put a hip check on Junior, but Junior just too fast. He's out with another 4. Now looking at a 20-point jam just as Ann Stovey is released from the box. So Junior busts out another round of 4 points. This is now a 24-point jam drawbreaker, taking Jovi out of bounds. Back-to-back jammer penalties. I'm sorry. Okay, no, this is just an illegal pass. So no additional penalty assessed to Jovi. That was just an illegal or incomplete pass. 4 points for Anchovy, 28 points by Junior. Mars at 302, Black Rose 112. Black Rose's bench calling for an official review. Right now, our officials will congregate and talk about this review and come up with an outcome. Once there is a ruling, we'll bring you the details and move on with our game.
Like, what's the best we could do? Like, have a gardener running around with a pair of shears? Like,
I've always been trying to think of what kind of mascot. I like dress up as a giant rose.
well, you could dress up as a bumblebee with a rose, but like, that's about as, you know, cheeky as you can get there, you know? Yeah. Little paper roses. Yeah. Like something to go with it. Yeah. Like a skeleton. Okay. Yeah.
Black rose.
Yeah. I like that. I actually like that a lot. Excuse me. We need to expand the team. We now need a prop department.
Could you imagine?
First of all, that would be awesome. However, what? Okay, listen, we need to talk, okay? I was expecting like a little Ziploc bag. That thing rolls out. I'm like, this is horrible. I love it, but this is horrible. Yeah. Sick card. You need to help. I don't need it. Don't sleep. Oh my gosh, yeah.
That was fantastic.
So yeah, Mikey reached out to Bio. Frank doesn't make a big deal out of his birthday, so you guys could do something, and they put that together for 3 hours. It was ridiculous and awesome, and I was okay.
Unlimited pass. Do a game where you can like anyone can get the keep passing.
Kind of like what is that play in football where they keep chucking the ball backwards and backwards and backwards? Yeah, like that.
So using their
Yeah.
so. Oh, I see it.
Cool.
We'll just have to make sure that if Black Rose didn't keep theirs to get there.
What the actual? You know what? Just send everybody to the box. Whatever. Everybody gets a penalty because y'all doing y'all thing.
Okay.
What just happened? And so both jammers are in the box. What the actual?
We have back-to-back official reviews, one from each team. Our first review was called by the Black Rose bench, looking to see whether or not Armstrong Jr. had skated out of bounds while that jam was called off, because you cannot take out of bounds intentionally and then call off the jam. When the officials got together, they determined that yes, the actions that had occurred meet the criteria for a penalty, so that will put Armstrong Jr. in the box for a skating out of bounds. Next in line was an official review called by Mars, questioning whether or not Black Rose's jammer and Sophie had committed a track cut. Now, when our officials got together, they determined that yes, that track cut had occurred. So both teams will have won these reviews back-to-back. Both jammers will go to the box, and they will start in the box. Now, when you start in the box as a jammer, you can get leads, so they will come immediately into play, and this will have never happened. Okay, so we are off to the races now. Junior taking on Ants Jovi. We did see Sunset Scar on the jammer line there for a moment, but because of that penalty was hung over from the previous jam, Ants Jovi will be back out there to jam once again. Now, Ants Jovi is our lead jammer for Black Rose. Okay, Jovi is in. Let's see what our referees are throwing up. Looks like Jovi did have a 4-point scoring pass before she called off the action. That's going to bring Black Rose up to 115. Scoreless jam there for Junior. They're at 302 still. So now we're looking at number 110 Sunset Scar out there taking on 23 Oddball. Mars down a pivot in the box, so Black Rose with the pack advantage. Sunset Scar needing some defense by Mars blockers, but Beans comes into her rescue. Not fast enough because Oddball is our lead jammer for Mars. Sunny called off on a track cut. This is going to be in the last 5 minutes of our game. A power jam in the hands of Mars. Oddball in control. Beans takes a spill. She spilled the beans. Who spilled the beans? I don't know, but Barbie is out with 4 more. I'm sorry, that is Oddball out with 4 more points. We do have Oddball wearing Piper's old Mars jersey. Booberry taking a collision there against Oddball. Oddball is back up and forced to recycle. She calls off the jam. So Sunset Scar is iced in the box now. An 8-point jam for Oddball. They're at 310. Skating Sun out there now. Jamming from Mars. Sunset Scar finishes her time from that track cut late in the last jam. She pushes her way right through that wall, but she takes a spill on her skate. Skating Sun is out with a Mars lead. And scoring pass under by Skatesign, who jumps the track, and he comes out with 4 points. Black Rose walling up some defense at the bottom of the pack against Skatenstein. Meanwhile, at the top, Jawbreaker is bracing a tripod against Sunset Scar. Sunset Scar trying to get through. Skatenstein out, gets past that tripod, and he's out with 4 more points. Sunset Scar forced to the back and recycled by Jawbreaker. Star pass over to number 25, Diablo. Skatenstein, though, unaffected by all that. He's got 4 more points, making this a 16-point jam. Diablo now called off on a track cut. In the last 3 minutes of our game, Diablo has that seat now as a pivot turn jammer. Skatenstein getting a block by Scar. And we are down to the final countdown of the game. 1:58 left. Black Rose 115, Mars 330. And it is a power start in the hands of the Junior Beasts. In that last jam, we had a star pass from Sunset Scar over to Diablo. Diablo called off on a track cut, so he's to start this jam in the penalty box. And it looks like we are going to see number 22, Junior, out to jam solo. We are now in a timeout called by our officials. The official clarification on our time left, since we are still having scoreboard issues, is 1:35 left, so we could be in the final jam of the game. And we are off on this power start in the hands of Junior. Now Jack Skatington working some defense along with Starstruck, with Junior's out with lead. Jawbreaker coming back in, making this a 4-4 defense. Junior is out with the first 4 points of the jam. Now Diablo released from the box, so Bull Timbers back in. It's 5-on-5 derby. Beans and Death Ray trying to wall up against Junior. Junior gets past Jack Skatington. He's got 4 more points. So Mars now looking at an 8-point jam just as Black Rose loses Jack Skatington to a penalty. Diablo out of the pack, but Jawbreaker taking him down. Jawbreaker laying some defense into Diablo right now, working with number 007, that's Rogue, also working the butt position of that tripod. So our pack tightens up coming around the turn. Diablo brought back by Rogue. And in the last seconds of this jam, apparently, that's just a guess, Junior called off on a track cut. So Diablo now on a power jam, not lead jammer, so we have to go for the full 2 minutes. We are relying on our very seasoned and experienced jam timer, Bionic, to keep things under control as far as time. Diablo still with that star, and there's 4 whistles. That calls off the action. So that looks like that's going to bring us to the end of the game. A tentative score of Mars 344, Black Rose 119. Our referees are going to go and mute the scorekeepers and make sure all the points look good. And once there is a clarification, we are going to go ahead and call a final score. Now, we also have MVPs to do here, and I believe we're also going to be pulling the winning raffle ticket here very shortly. And it's a final score. Black Rose 119, Mars taking the victory at 344 points. Give both of these teams a round of applause. It was a very hard-fought game. They are now officially on their way to Northeast Regional Playoffs in Philadelphia in just a couple of weeks from today. They will be playing each other once again before we move into JRDA postseason. And taking their victory lap now are Mars, Junior Beast. If you have ankle biter, jawbreaker, oh, yeah, they're too fast for me. There comes Slayer around the track. There's Larry and Skatenstein. And our home team, your Black Rose Rebellion, taking their lap around the track now.